welcome to Midday Mumbles podcast. I'm Gage.
I'm Brody.
And this is a little different. Isaac isn't here today because he's got the flu. Wish him the best in the comments below. But yeah, Isaac's sick, so he's not here today. You might hear a little bit of a difference. Brody and I are in the same room right now on one microphone doing episode 14 because well, let's be honest with you. He forgot his wireless earbuds. and yeah, so we're trying something new, and we hope you like it. But yep, this is gonna be very weird because the guy that doesn't talk much on the podcast combined with the guy that does the most talking, I have a feeling
it's a good combo.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be doing all the talking. But yeah, so this episode is brought to you by our Patreon. Patreon.com/Midday Mumbles to help support the show and continue to make it free. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 tiers. If you want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/Midday Mumbles. That's patreon.com/Midday Mumbles. Let's get right into the show.
So how you doing this week, Gage?
I'm doing good. You did it this time. I was starting to say it, but then you said it. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great this week. Hasn't been a busy week. Slow week.
Yep.
As it usually is. 14 episodes of slow weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. We're back here again doing episode 14 of the Midday Mumbles podcast. And yeah, so I mean, you're home this weekend again.
Again? Other times it won't be.
Next week, he's staying at school, right?
I don't know. I never can tell.
He never knows where he's gonna be. That's a weird thing with young kids or young people, not kids, young adults, is they never know where like I'm all about schedules, right? Like if I had a schedule, I'm always like, okay, Isaac, be on Discord to record the podcast at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, the 22nd of January, and
gets on at 7.
He gets on at 7
always late. Always late, always excused.
This episode is just going to be trash talking Isaac, because when Brody wasn't here, we just trash talked Brody. It's funny because I haven't missed one episode, so I'm thinking next week I'm just going to take the week off purposely. I'll edit the show, but
it'll be a bad episode when Gage misses it because
it'll be so confusing.
We don't know who's going to do the audio work.
Brody, I'll do the audio work, but Brody and Isaac are going to be like, so. You want to play some CS:GO?
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the thing.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What are we doing? What are we doing again? But yeah, no. I mean, a lot's happened this week. It's gone by fast. Brody, this is your second week back at school, right? Or your first week?
I think second week.
Second week. Yes, and we've just been, he's been at school, I've been at work. Yeah.
Isaac's been at school.
Yeah.
Don't have anything witty for Isaac to say. He can't jump in. He's not here.
Yeah, Isaac just got sick. He says he's got the flu, but he hasn't gone to the doctors yet, so.
He has the flu.
He diagnosed himself with the flu, so he probably has a viral virus or something. I don't know. I was telling Brady before the recording, I haven't been to the doctors before. I went 2 weeks. I went about a month ago because I had some like viral thing, and I was really freaking sick. And I moved into the office. It was not like I can't go home and I can't be at home and do work. So I had, I don't feel like coming to the office because I'm sick. So my parents were like, go to the doctors. You haven't been in 2 years, but go to the doctors. I went to the doctors and literally, it wasn't, they gave me some medicine and I felt better within like 2 days. So I try to stay away from the doctors if you haven't noticed from this little rant. But
it's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea.
You think going to the doctors is good?
Yes. Everyone should always have a primary care physician and set up a 1-year checkup yearly.
Interesting?
Yearly.
You know what's interesting?
What?
This facility that we're in right now was a doctor's office. And they closed down 2 years ago. I had a doctor that I just switched to before, like a few months before this closed down.
A primary care physician?
He was my PCP, and his name was Dr. Ducker, He was a British, amazing guy. And then this place announced they were closing down. And I hadn't gone to the doctors at all in that period. There was one instance where I needed to get a refill of something. I don't count this. He moved to Waterville at the time, and I had to go to Waterville and get like a refill of like a prescription. I don't count that. I did go into his office and I did talk to him, but that was just, like he just wanted to make sure I wasn't like popping pills, verification, make sure I actually still need the pills. And it was like some sleeping thing because I have sleeping issues. But yeah, that was the last time I was in a doctor's, and he's recently changed. He's no longer a doctor. He does like administrative work at a doctor's office at the hospital. Yeah, it's February 1st. I finally changed the calendar. I don't know if you saw it when you came in.
Yeah, instead of red, it's brown.
Instead of an Asian man in a farm, it's a hiker going up a mountain.
Good change. Good change.
I still don't understand how you consider that a calendar. Literally, the calendar has a photo, but the photo takes up 99% of the paper. So that doesn't even really work as a calendar. I mean, it does, but there's just one line. You guys would have to see it to understand, but it's...
The whole calendar is a huge picture. At the bottom of the sheet that the picture's printed on is just the number of days.
Like, I don't even know. I don't understand why I would ever... How I don't use that at all. It just sits there. I look at the photo and the door's closed.
I don't know how you date anything out. Usually people have the calendar boxes so you can date stuff. Well,
I don't know.
You couldn't.
So that's the funny thing. I've had calendars at home. Like, I get a new calendar every year. I haven't gone this year, but I go to like Portland and get one. There's a store in the mall, and I get one of those nice little square calendars. I was putting it up in my room, and I tried marking days. Like, okay,
important dates.
I got this going on Thursday at 2 p.m., but I write so damn big. So I tried also getting a calendar on my phone and doing that. I can't remind myself to do it. It's almost like I just can't set reminders. I just remember important dates in my head, and that's not a good way to do things because I have forgotten about things many times in the past. So, but yeah, I mean that's we're human. People forget about things, but
I'd say if you can't write any smaller, get a mechanical pencil.
Is that gonna help?
Yeah, you pretty much have to write small on a mechanical pencil because it's not like ink. It's not like you can wait and the ink will spread out on the page. It's like you get 0.5 millimeter, you get 0.7 millimeter, and that's the size of the lead.
Was that pen here?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
You get 0.5, you get 0.7 millimeter. That's what you write in. You write in 0.5 millimeter.
The office is a mess right now. If you guys don't know, it's literally we moved in and there's painting going on, and they just put up a wall, and literally I can't find anything. Like, I have everything in my office, and actually I cleaned all that out over there the other day, and I put the empty boxes in the closet so I could like organize shit. I think it looks nice. I think
you should close up this gap.
And put what?
Put the desk closer to the wall.
It was at one time, but I like to have this little distance
to lean back.
I like to have the distance because when I make my YouTube videos, there's like a blurred background kind of effect, which is kind of nice, but I mean, something like that shouldn't define an entire space. I also considered moving the desk like this way. That way the backdrop is the wood, and having the greens, because that green screen I can slide back and forth if I want. But one thing was, oh well, you're gonna block the window, so.
Well, if you're somebody who cares about natural light, then that's a problem. But if you don't care about that, then
that thing is so annoying.
The natural light?
Yeah, when the lights go in the daytime, it's fine. But I've been here at like 4 p.m. when the sun starts to set, and that literally, oh my god.
Well, when the direct sunlight hits you in through the window, or what?
When it gets on the monitors.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because when I'm trying to work or something, I was editing a video, and I had some client work, and it was very hard to see what I was doing. So
I believe it. You need some blackout shades in here.
Yeah, I thought about it, but when I'm also getting into streaming. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. If we're recording this on Saturday, but I was thinking about streaming, but I had an issue last week where the light was really affecting my face light.
Your vision?
No, the lights. These lights right here. There was a perfect saturation in the afternoon, and the sun started to set, and my face started to turn orange. So
In the stream? Oh.
yeah, I know. First world problems.
Yeah, really.
But
Stream.
yeah, I can't stream. But yeah, I mean, so I've been doing a lot of talking. Why don't you?
What do you want me to talk about?
I don't know. You talk. Literally, just say anything, bro. You're wearing a Thomas College sweatshirt. You
Yep.
thinking about switching?
Oh, speaking of Thomas College, look at this.
Lanyard.
All my stuff is in Thomas College. I don't even go to Thomas College. My
know.
lanyard's a Thomas College lanyard. I love Thomas College. I love the campus. I love the people.
But you
I don't go there.
Literally, it's funny because we used to at Carabec, well, the school we went to, they used to have like these college fairs. People would come from colleges. They'd hand out all these goodies. Who the frig is going to use them? But you do. So
Right.
There you go.
I use the stuff that they give me, but I don't care about them.
You don't attend. But so how's college anyway?
It's good.
You liking it?
Yeah.
No. You're going for 4 years, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
For engineer? What kind of engineering? I forget.
It's civil engineering technology. It's kind of like a business degree, but it's also kind of like an engineering degree.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, it's interesting. You So what are you into as a person anyway? Like when
I'm
what are you
into
gonna
everything.
Do? What are you gonna do with this degree? Like I'm actually curious. Are you gonna do? Is that gonna be your job in being an engineer?
I could do that with the degree. I could do that. I don't think it's what I'm gonna do.
No. So what do you?
I just want to do. I like this degree. I look at it. I feel like it doesn't put me in the engineering box.
No.
People that are put into the engineering box, they can easily do that, and then they end up doing crappy work.
Yeah.
You know, you become a professional junior engineer with the engineering degree. You design sewer systems. For years, you design drainage systems, sewage systems. I don't want to do that kind of work.
No.
I don't want to do office work.
Well, what do you want to do?
Other things.
My uncle's an engineer. He does work.
I know, but that's different. That's electrical.
Like, no, he does roads. Like
he does civil?
Yeah. That's what I think I know he's not an electrical engineer. He's a civil engineer, I think. But yeah, he does that kind of work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it pays more.
Oh.
But I mean, you end up doing crappy work for a long time before you can get it in a...
He lives like 5 minutes away. Like, you know, it pays fine. The problem with that, though, is that one of the big things is everyone that I talk to that's in college, probably about 85% of them are going for engineering degrees. Anyone I talk to that's into college.
Engineering is good.
But the jobs are the thing because there's a lot of people going into engineering. My uncle, well, okay, I have one uncle. Both my uncles are engineers, but one of them is a computer engineer, and he got a job at IBM. He was very lucky at the time. The timing was perfect. My other uncle is a civil engineer. He does road engineering and all that kind of stuff.
Well, civil isn't just road.
Bridges, that kind of stuff.
Municipal buildings.
Yeah. So that's what he does. He will like design stuff. It's kind of funny because there's so many different kinds of engineering, right?
Well, not really.
For many different things, like computer engineering. My uncle codes, and
there's many base ones, and from the base ones you branch off into smaller, specialized engineering tasks.
But he works on AI from IBM.
Yeah, but like under the like umbrella term, it's electrical.
Yep.
But he does something more specialized, you know.
Yeah, he does hardcore coding. That's what he does. It's kind of funny because,
well, I guess I don't. Yeah, I mean, it would be electrical engineering, but then it's like it specifies into computer engineering, and then you know, he specializes even more into coding. I guess, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He was very confused at the beginning of what he wanted to do. He graduated high school, and I think he took a year off. We're 15 years apart. So when I was 15, he was turning 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're not that far off in age. We have similar interests. He just was, brought up in the 80s and 90s, and he has more experience with older tech
Mm-hmm.
and more time to learn. Whereas, I didn't really start getting into computers until 2008ish. I had experience with computers because I was 7 in 2008, and I had experience before, but nothing. Like I started teaching myself software. You know what I
Software
mean?
stuff, yeah.
And that's why I'm so good at some of the stuff that I do. I'm not good at everything. Like,
But it would be better to get a degree.
I couldn't write code to save my life.
But you could learn.
I could learn it, and I probably would understand it more since I have like the base level, like the foundation is there.
Well,
It's
I'm sure if you look at it like this, it's like a big puzzle. You have puzzle pieces in many places, but you don't have the full picture.
Yes, I don't.
An education would probably give you all the rest of the puzzle pieces that you needed to create that beautiful whole picture,
Potentially, but that's the thing. Like, I'm not like I know computers, and that's something that I have. That's like my hobby. That's what I've learned over the years.
Right.
But
it's
from
not
there,
like it's not like you know computer science.
But from there, I've branched out. Like, if it wasn't for me learning computers, that I'm into the media side of computers.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, there's a major for that. People go to Orno and they do new media. It's a study.
yeah, that is true. But the thing with that, and I was watching a Steven Crowder video, and we're not getting into politics or anything, but I was watching a Steven Crowder video, and he was talking about that.
New media?
He was talking about degrees, right?
Okay,
this was a
degrees,
video
yeah.
he posted, I think, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it in my feed, and I found it very interesting. It was one of those. It was from his podcast thing, and he was talking about how, one of the big things is, so how all the DNC the Democrat candidates are running on, we want to wipe your debt away, your college debt.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the thing is, if you look at the statistics on the amount of people that have debt, it's coming from people who started college. They didn't know what they wanted to do when they were in college because they were forced to go to, you know what I mean? Like, you have those parents that are like, okay, my parents the same way. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. If you don't go to college, you're not going to have a job. So then they go into college, but they don't know what they want to do. So they have this minor, and then they're trying to figure out their major. They pick a major, and then they realize it's not what they want to do. So they either switch their major or they drop out, right? A lot of the time, the statistics show that people that can't handle their college debt are generally not, generally didn't graduate. They dropped out. And it's usually, the statistic shows is around $5,000 because they don't have a job. They don't have
$5,000 in debt.
Yes, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, right?
Well, I'd say the people that go through the programs fully, but kept taking on debt, have like huge debts that.
But that's where I would agree with you on that. But the statistics show that people that are going into engineering, right? If you're going into like a gender studies degree,
if you go through engineering and you get your full engineering degree, you won't have a problem with money.
I understand that.
That's
because
the thing, you won't have a problem with money.
We have such a need for engineers, right? In different categories. Like, that's the thing. We need doctors, we need engineers, and those are big things. We don't have enough I read a statistic a couple years ago about how we're running low on doctors, and by like 2050 or something, we're not going to have nearly enough doctors for anything, because people don't want to go into that industry because they feel forced, right? But a lot of people are wasting their degree because they want to go to college and they're studying gender studies. I feel like that's going to become more.
Well, there's far more than that. If you want to talk about the doctors and engineer problems, the people that go into new media are the problem too.
They could, yes, you could say that. Yes.
Because it's not like they're going to do anything with their degree that's.
Making a movie or a YouTube video isn't going to like change society.
Yeah,
so
right.
There's two sides of this argument, and I'm arguing for the side against my position on it, but I don't plan to go to college because, I mean, personally, the big thing is I wouldn't be going for engineering. I'd be going for new media, but I don't plan to go and work for like a TV station. You know what I mean? Or because so a lot of there's a New England school, new media, and the school was trying to get me to go there, the high school we went to, and everyone that graduated there from Maine would get a job at WLBZ or WABI TV5, right?
Yes.
And they would be working on like the graphics and all that. That's what they do. Fox 22, the local channels. And that's what they told me. And I said, listen, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I like media. That's my passion is film. But I also like the business side of it. I don't want to go.
You could solve that problem by getting a computer science degree and doing some computer management,
Brody's got his hands up in the air. So.
Computer administration somewhere.
Computer administration. Well,
yes.
I think the big thing is like with my web development. I taught myself web development. And although I don't do the full extent of web development, I handle sales, right? So clients I get, I talk to them on the phone.
Right. You solve that by getting a business degree?
I understand that, bro. My parents are saying the same thing. But I feel like I want to right now how I'm standing. Like last year, 2019, I was a part-time freelancer, right? First year of doing freelance work. And I made more money than a lot of students that were working from the time they got out of school till like night, and then they have homework and everything else.
Right, yeah.
And I was working half those hours. Like I was having, maybe a 6-hour day, maybe a 4-hour day. And I was, I'm not going to disclose the amount I made because, it's tax season. I'm just kidding. But, I made enough, to be, for being a 17-year-old kid and then turning 18. And it's slow season right now because, it's winter, New Year, businesses are getting their budgets together, but one of the niches that I found was podcast production. I know you're listening to a podcast, but that's what I did.
You're listening to the podcast. Whoa!
But that's what I did all summer.
Podcastception.
You remember I was like, telling you all about how this new client wants me to do this edit and produce and distribute their podcast.
Right.
And that's what I did. And I'm very good at that. And a lot of my clients see that, and then they go and they're like, oh, you can do this and this and this too. So then they hire me for other jobs. It was interesting because my first ever client on Upwork, I work on Upwork, a very good platform if you're a freelancer and you want to get into you don't have to do video editing. You can do virtual assistant. You can be a lawyer. I've seen lawyers on there. But anyway, I had this one client. He hired me to do a podcast for him, and I'm not going to say his name. Well, it is a he, but he hired me to do his podcast, and then he had me developing his website, and we were doing this big software deal. And we had like 100 different things on the plate. I was editing his YouTube videos because this guy was trying to do corporate videos on YouTube because obviously, that you can make a lot of money on that. And we were doing, I made a significant portion of my yearly earnings from that one client. And I've had about probably 8 clients in 2019, which is, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it really isn't either. I talked to a few freelancers I met on the platform, and they had alone one guy that I spoke to had over 125 clients in 2019. And he made, if you look at it on a scale, he did over 10 times the amount of hours I worked, and he made obviously more than me, but it wasn't by as much as you'd think. So, I mean, freelancing is a very viable thing, but that's not where I want to be in 20 years. I mean, there'll be more opportunities in 20 years. That's why.
Where do you want to be in 20 years then?
I want to do film. I want to make movies. So that's why I'm opening my own doors. I have my own studio because eventually I want to direct movies, right? Because at one point I did want to go to college, and that college was Full Sail in Florida. But then I'm like, so the tuition is expensive, but there is no room and board. So I have to then rent or buy a property, which in Florida, it isn't cheap. And my dad, someone my dad works with, had a son that went there, and he hated it. They had classes at 1 a.m. Like seriously, it was all over the clock. Because when you're a filmmaker, you're getting shots at 3 a.m. You're getting shots, and that's the thing. The whole thing is you make a movie every year, and whatever you're learning, you work on. So if you want to do directing, that's what you want to do the most of. Then well, you're the director, or you're the director's assistant, or
right. So what are you doing? Are you building up a big purse?
The big thing
What's
now.
the plan?
Well, the big thing right now is I want to build my business and I want to put away money and gain experience. Have you ever heard of this thing called Indeed? It's a job. You put your resume on the internet.
Yeah.
So a lot of local companies use that because I've been on the website before. But there's a new thing that they don't ask for if you have a college degree. They don't require a college degree anymore. They say, do you have years of experience? So basically, well, this is what I believe the future is going to be. I think in 10 to 20 years, college is still going to exist, but I feel like more companies aren't going to care if you have a college degree. I think it's going to be like, how much experience do you have? Like
It's always been that.
Real world experience.
Yeah, it's always been experience, but
because
employers want the accreditation on top of that.
They do, but not all. But a lot of them are starting to lighten up on that. Like you're going for engineering. That doesn't mean you have you might be able to do the math in your head, but that doesn't mean you've ever built a bridge, right? You might build a bridge and the freaking thing might fall in. And
of course, that's a possibility. That's always a possibility.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I feel like a lot of this conversation about college and stuff is very. Your opinion can change on a daily basis as new information occurs, and that's with anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, I have done a lot of research on these topics because I'm 18 and I'm trying to. I know this is kind of a weird. I'm trying to figure my life out. What do I want to do? Do I want to do this all my life? Do I want to do that all my life? But one thing that a lot of people overlook, and this is why I still do it, like this podcast is on YouTube. I make 3 YouTube videos a week, right? That's something I've started to really focus on because I don't plan on blowing up. Like I'm not banking on being the next Logan Paul, okay? I'm not doing that. But in today's new media, right? The new media world, Brody is drawing a cloud on the paper.
It's a monkey.
The thing is, you can make money on these platforms. So that's also an outlet. Like, this was something I was thinking of.
But that can't be, right?
Yep.
5-figure, 6-figure and a half income.
Oh, it can.
No,
and
can't.
People do
no,
it.
Can't.
People do it. Like,
you can't build your career
I
I
have a friend who has 2 million YouTube subscribers, and he makes his peak year, which was a year and a half ago. It was a year ago. He made in 2019, and 2018 was his highest year. And he brought in $1.6 million. Okay, that's a lot of.
Do you see the lack of job security there?
I do, because YouTube is one of those things that fluctuates.
YouTube changes its policy.
Relevance.
You start, like, for lack of a better word, sucking. Right?
I understand that.
Goes down the drain. No job security.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm getting.
No benefits either. No benefits and no job security.
I'm not saying I want to be a YouTuber, okay? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that is a lucrative avenue to look at. Because
yes, it's lucrative.
It is very lucrative. Because you can. But so this is what I was thinking of the other. I was telling you I had these topics in my head that I wanted to talk about. I was excited to talk about them. And I watch a lot. We watch a lot of movies. Whenever you're in town,
I love movies.
We'll go to the movie theater. Well, there's something that I've noticed a lot of, and that is, how you have A-list and B-list actors, right?
Yes.
So you have the Brad Pitts and the Margot Robbies of the world. Well, I've seen a lot more social media influencers being considered for roles in movies. Like,
I hate that.
So like I hate that also.
That's like a jump. That's like you're a media influencer. You're not an actor.
But, okay.
And it's like you're going from an F-list celebrity all the way up to C.
Yeah.
It's like you just skipped everything. You didn't even have to become a good actor to become an actor.
So Logan Paul, I used him as an example earlier because this is kind of where I was going with this. Logan Paul signed a 5-movie deal. He's working, so he's going to be in 5 movies. This was a while ago, and I find this interesting because, he was a Vine star. He started off making these foolish videos on his phone.
You don't know if he's going to be a good actor. Like
he's been in 2 movies already.
He does good on social media because he's a pretty face, right?
Yes, But
doesn't mean
that's the
he's
thing.
good acting.
Directors are only looking at his numbers. They're saying, oh, he's got 25 million YouTube subscribers and 17 million Instagram
Right.
followers. So if we make this movie and he promotes it, the movie could be complete dog shit.
It could be a flop. I don't think it's a safe investment.
It could be a terrible movie.
Right.
But I'm saying his fans are going to flock to the theaters.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay. You remember once, you know Smosh? Well, they made a movie a few years ago.
And it flopped, right?
It flopped, but a ton of fans, like including me, because I used to be a Smosh fan, I was very intrigued when they announced it. So I waited till it came on demand and I watched it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay because it had a lot of memes from the time and a lot of YouTubers I watched were in it. But I hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible because they're not actors. They're people who made videos in their bedroom. But my point is,
but not even a good director could make those actors good. You know? That's the thing.
I understand that. But my point is, years ago, back in the 50s and 60s, you wanted to be an actor, you had to know someone in Hollywood. Or you had to take the risk, go to Hollywood, or you wanted to be a director, producer. You had to either be born into it. Like, for instance, what's his name? He's a director. He's a tip of my tongue. Ron Howard.
What did Ron Howard make?
I'm thinking of Ron Howard because this is so the example that I'm trying to say is he was born into Hollywood, right? His father was an actor, and I was watching a documentary on him because he got a role in Lassie, which is a very famous TV show back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And so he started his career off as an actor. He wanted to be an actor. Well, his dad was an actor, so he got right in. My point is, if you were like the Steven Spielberg or the
Steven Spielberg's son,
Quentin Tarantino, right? They weren't born into Hollywood. Well, maybe they were. I don't know. But if you were someone like, so you're Brody.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And it's 1960 and you want to be a director. Okay. So you get on a bus.
My parents were probably models.
No, they weren't. You just love movies. Your dad works in a coal mine. Your mom's a stay-at-home mom.
Things were less complicated. You probably could get on a bus, go down to a studio and say, give me a job.
No, you go get on a bus, you go to Hollywood. What you gonna do, right? You don't know anybody there. So you can't, what are you gonna do? So you go on 20th Century or Warner Brothers lot and they're gonna be like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Get out. You know what I mean? Like, we're filming a movie.
You keep coming back and you say, give me a job. And
so
they say eventually,
they're going to start you off as a janitor, but that's not my point. You don't know anybody. So it's harder. It was harder to get into Hollywood. Whereas now.
You don't know. You've never seen a documentary.
I haven't.
You haven't done the research.
You start off in your bedroom right here. We're in my office. We're making a YouTube video, right? And then I get 100, 200,000 views. My channel blows up, right? It's got 2 million subs. And now,
but at least when you're employed as an actor, there's job security in that.
But then you're gonna have, well, not really, because once the film's up or the movie's up, you're done, right?
No.
Yes.
No, you got agents working around the clock.
You do have agents.
Next role.
But you like a lot of actors don't have roles. Not like okay,
you got roles preset. You go to the auditions. You're working around the clock as an actor to get the next role.
But I've seen a lot of actors just like kind of fall out of Hollywood. Like they just don't act anymore because they can't get roles. They're not like, okay, look at, so back in the 90s, Family, Bob Saget was in that family movie, that family show there. Big deal. Everyone, loved Bob Saget. Bob Saget's amazing. Full House. And, now he's not a desirable actor anymore because no one cares about Bob Saget.
Plenty of things you could do. Look at Clint Eastwood, right? Now he makes movies.
He does make movies.
But he was the one who was being the actor for so many years.
He makes movies now.
And they're great movies.
A lot of them are great movies. But I'm talking about, you have those people, the social media stars, and they're getting hired to do movies because the directors are just like, the studios are just like, hey, Brody, you got 15 million YouTube subscribers and 8 million Instagram followers. You be in my movie as the main, and we'll promote you or something. Like, remember that Dwayne Johnson was in like some lifeguard movie or something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
I remember that one, yeah.
But there were a few YouTube stars that were in that, and KSI.
Yeah.
One of his rap songs was in the movie. They used it. It was in his soundtrack.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
So
gosh.
this guy who started out playing FIFA in his bedroom in his parents' house, he's in a $100 million budget movie. His song, why? I don't know. And then like there were a few British YouTubers who played minor roles in the Pixar movie, Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Really?
Yeah, one of them, Dan TDM was one of them. They were like kids YouTubers though, and they voiced characters in the movie.
Oh
Just
my
because
gosh.
they have followers. So that's my point. People are more desirable. Like, so the Super Bowl is tomorrow. And last year, Ninja was in a Samsung commercial in the Super Bowl.
I remember that.
Because he was a big deal. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. So nowadays,
I just don't think it works out how you think it works out.
like, I'm not trying to sit here and I'm doing YouTube more as a hobby. That's why I have freelancing going. Or else, if I really wanted to do it full time, I'd just do that full time and make daily videos. But I don't want to do that because that's not what I want my career to be. I don't want to be waking up making YouTube videos. I want to travel. I want to see the world. And most importantly, I want to make films. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But you got to start somewhere. You're not going to start off with $100 million budget making a Quentin Tarantino movie. You know what I mean? That's not reality.
You do the Stanley Kubrick. Started off making little documentaries.
A lot of filmmakers start off doing free work, like doing free commercials and stuff. That's how
make a little documentary.
I did have a documentary idea, something I did want to do.
That's what'll get you. That's what'll get you.
I have a good idea, and I really think I ought to do it.
Short films aren't the way. Documentaries are.
I have all the stuff to do. I have the lavender mics. I have a good camera. I mean, literally, the lighting. Friggin'
Go find some good topics.
I have one good topic in particular. I've wanted to do this for a couple of years now, but it's a little difficult to get a hold of this person. But
you don't want to end up like that documentary, the one about the logging people. Remember that?
The one about the logging people?
Yeah, you might have missed it.
I was there.
But it was about logging and how logging used to go when they still logged with horses and they moved the logs with horses down to the river.
I saw a documentary about something like that on PBS. Because they used to have the log runs down in Madison.
This one was better. This one was better. It had real people in it. They did real interviews.
Oh, this one did have interviews, but it might have been the same one. I don't know. But documentaries are cool. And they're not that, you don't need a budget to make a documentary.
No, because you just need people willing to talk.
Exactly.
And then they go on and on and on about their old people, and they go on and on about their life, and they love talking.
Yeah. I don't know. I had an idea. One of them, this isn't the idea that I'm planning on doing, but there was one, it was about, Maine. Maine's industries, right? Talking about...
Oh, trust me.
How does...
PBS has already done
I know,
all the
but
way.
wouldn't that be cool just to do something that... I mean, you try and capture Maine in its beauty, but also trying to educate people on... One of the coolest... I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but he retired. He was on WWZ. Jeez. That guy... What was it? You know what I'm talking about. He went on, he traveled... Bill Green's Maine.
He still does it.
Are you afraid to say that?
No, I'm not afraid to say
He retired. He doesn't do it anymore.
He's retired. Look it up.
He did. He retired last year. I saw it because my parents watch it.
You want to interview him?
No. What I'm saying is his ideas, like the way his show worked. It's very educational.
You'd want to do a continuation of his show?
I think it'd be interesting to do a documentary on Maine, but kind of like
the way he did it?
The way he did it, almost. You know what I mean? Like
that would be too long of a show.
I know. It'd be like a 3-hour documentary, which is
It would be a 10-hour.
Practical.
He had hundreds of episodes of that.
Well, I'm saying you take someone like the biggest industries. So like you got the seafood industry, like the fishermen down in Portland and all that. But then you got the loggers, like your dad does some stuff with that. And that's what I'm saying,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But you pick the like a couple big industries in Maine, and you just talk like you try and educate people on it, and maybe you can have like a nice flow. Like the mills used to be a huge thing in Maine.
That could be a good documentary.
That was an idea I had, was mills, because they're closing it. I know someone's gonna steal it.
Oh my gosh, someone's gonna steal it.
Yeah, I know. I have this one really good idea locked in my brain of something I wanted to do for years, but Just the time isn't right yet. Time isn't right.
Time is now. Time is now.
But this specific person isn't like the time isn't right. There's gonna be a time when I like a documentary. It probably would only take 3 months to do. You film it in a month, right? Because all you gotta do is get interviews.
2 months.
Editing would be 2 months. That would be just getting some music licensed, and that's it.
I see. You might want to go back and watch some of Kubrick's first documentaries just to look at them.
Yeah, but I like
just study it.
I like a lot of, but the big thing is, they get cool shots. You know what I mean? Like a lot of documentaries get really cool shots.
You'd have to get a drone.
I'd have to
do some river shots.
My grandfather has a drone, which I could borrow, but maybe. Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, in order to compete with other documentaries, you got to have things like drones and all that.
We got this thing I found on the internet.
Yeah.
All right.
You showed me that a while ago.
It is a while ago, but I picked it back up. I thought it was cool. It's a cool way to train.
Over the summer, he got very interested in like the monkey bars, and then he got interested in like training his hand.
No, not monkey bars, but like
jump roping was his big thing. And I went over to his house and he showed me this thing, and I tried. It's like a hand grip thing,
sort of calisthenics exercises.
To train your hand, and I could almost do it, but not as well as because he's been training his hands. But today I tried it. I haven't done it in months, and
it's called the Captain's Crush, and it's pretty epic. It's like I don't know what they're called. They're called like grip trainers, and they go up all the way to 4 levels.
Yeah.
And if the 3rd and 4th levels you can get certified for.
What level is it in right now?
This is a level 1. Gage tried it. He couldn't quite close it.
Can you imagine a level 4?
Yeah, I could have. Look, I can close it. But I want to buy a number 2. I want to work all the way up to at least 3. Because the 3rd and 4th level have certifications. You go on their website, you can get certified, say, I'm a level 4, I'm a level 3. Because it's like, they're very serious about it.
Does someone have to come and see you do it?
I think for a 4, if you wanted to get like legally certified number 4, someone has to see you do it.
Legally certified. Oh my god.
I don't know how it works.
Yes.
It's very cool. You should see the people that run this. The company's called Iron Mind. I love that company. They make stuff that's for grip training. They make stuff that's for wrist training. They make stuff that's for like extensor training in your fingers. It's all very interesting how obsessed they are with like grip strength.
So you've got certified lifeguards, you've got certified doctors, and now you've got certified king of Crush.
Captain of Crush.
Captain of Crush. What the hell?
You go on the Iron Mind website, they got books to sell you. They want to sell you the book, the Crush It to Dust hand guide or something. It's crazy how much they have invested into this grip stuff. I love it.
But like, honest to God, what is this solving? Just your strength of your hand? Like,
well, I don't think it's quite for training. I think it's sort of like a test. Like they tell you that the number, if you click the number 2 right now, it says life-saving levels of grip strength. It's like a test. It's like if you can crush the number 2 successfully, you got life-saving levels of grip strength. It's crazy. So it takes 365 pounds of like crushing grip to crush it, right?
Wow.
So number 1, what's number 1?
140.
140. So no, really?
Yeah.
So it takes 140 pounds to do that.
Jesus. That is 195 for number 2. So that's not that far.
Right. I'm probably going to order number 2 soon because I can close the 1, so I want to work on number 2.
But number 4 is 365 pounds. So like,
right? Gage can't even comprehend it. That's 140 right there.
Oh, I can barely do that. Well, no,
Ain't
that's
that crazy.
Yeah, that is 140. Yeah. Huh. Wow. Well, I mean, I've seen weirder things.
I think this is great. One time I read a study. I think this was so long ago. It was on the internet. A study that correlated like grip strength to like brain function. I don't know how that correlates.
That's why.
But I wonder if you could improve your brain function by improving your grip strength.
That's why I'm retarded, because I don't have
you don't have good grip.
I don't have good grip.
Well, you could work on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
You get some Iron Mind equipment. This isn't
The school used to hand those out.
really.
Yeah.
No, because those were ones like they're designed to look like the things that clamp the weights on. Like if you're doing a deadlift, you got your weight, you got your bar.
They were these, but they had like a foam outer layer. It was like exactly this.
Right, but I mean, like if you look up any sort of weightlifting pictures, you got the bar, and then you got the plate. Plate goes on. You got these things to secure the plates, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll take his word for it.
They're designed to look just like that. I think it's exactly the same spring thing.
It's cool. I mean, I
love the thing.
I forgot you owned it until he brought. He's like, you seen Michael Vsauce? Well, I want to do something fun. We're gonna review something, and I'm thinking, what did he get? Like some loot box or something?
No, I love it. I'm gonna get a number 2. I love the number 1.
Yes.
They're crazy. I'm gonna get Gage a trainer, which is 100 pounds.
60. Oh, okay. Oof.
Gage is gonna train with it. We're gonna improve his brain function.
Oof. But yeah, hey, I mean it's how much was this? Like $30?
I think it's like 20, 25 bucks, something like that.
Yeah, the level 4 is 24. So, but yeah, I mean they're Mel, they're cool. So I would rate that a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Why do you rate that? Buy the ironmind.com thing. But
we're gonna buy and review Iron Mind products. Oh, I have another one right here.
He has a band.
You wouldn't believe this. Yeah. I carry around the extensor bands. You want to give it a try, Gage?
An extensor band?
You go like this.
It's like it looks like one of those things you put on a lobster.
I know.
It's a band. What am I doing with it?
You go. Luckily, I have 2 actually. You put it and you train the extensors in your fingers. Like this. Yeah, and you go back.
Guess I got to work on that.
Gage has terrible finger extensors.
It's from all that editing. Click, click, click.
He's going to have terrible carpal tunnel health in his hands. He's going to work on his extensors and his grip to improve his brain function.
That looks so fun. You're like, oh, dude, But you guys would have to see this. Yeah, we thought, I don't know. This is an interesting. I hope this podcast came out good, but
the coronavirus is going crazy.
Yeah,
it's spreading like mad.
Brody's scaring me with the coronavirus. Jesus, seriously, he's like, people are getting it in New Hampshire, Massachusetts. I just read. Wow. But we're safe.
Even though Gage has nothing to worry about.
But my family, though. I
know. Gage is in the 20 to 30 age range.
Your family just gonna drop dead. You're gonna be I'm getting my engineering degree. Fuck it, whatever.
That's not how I want to think about it. That's very sick.
Yes. Well, it's the same with Ebola. It was
But
scary.
Gage is young. Gage is young and healthy. His statistical probability of dying is low. Because it's also the statistics that say that the people recovering are now, the amount is higher than the people dying.
Do you have the coronavirus? Comment down below and tell us. I'm just kidding.
Like and subscribe if you
like and subscribe if you have the coronavirus. Can we get 10 likes? Just kidding.
Well, what else, Gage? You said you've been saving all week interesting topics to talk about.
I mean, we went over them already.
Really?
Yeah. It was warm. Okay, the snow's melting.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I go back to the weather by default.
We've reached the point in the year where it's not going to get any colder. It's just going to get warmer.
I know.
Days are going to get longer.
Yeah. I'll be glad when I can come to the office and by 4 p.m. it's still bright out. One day I convinced Brody to get Grand Theft Auto 5 for PC. Okay. I convinced him after years and years of him saying cringe, cringe, cringe. I convinced him. They told me it couldn't be done, but I convinced him. And so yeah, after a long time, they said it couldn't be done. He finally got the game, and we started playing. And he thinks it was on sale, so no biggie. But yeah, I'm having fun with that. You enjoying the Los Santos trip?
I hate video games. I want to move away from video games. I want to live a normal, healthy life without video games.
Okay. Well,
less video games. I'm going to strike video games. I'm going to say I'm not going to go on anymore unless we get rid of those dang video games.
goddamn video games. But I mean, there aren't really many good games right now. Seriously, like we talk about this all the time on the podcast. I go back and play old games and just screw the new games. You know, like, hey, who cares? You know, I thought about getting Red Dead 2 on PC. I have it on Xbox. I played it. Don't really like it. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I guess Western games aren't for me. You know, but. There's rumors that the GTA 6 trailer is going to be released on the Super Bowl. Okay,
at the Super Bowl
tomorrow.
Why
we'll
would
see.
they even do that?
Because apparently they were looking for a commercial editor. They only put out. So they said they were looking for a commercial editor for a big event ad. This was a few weeks ago. That the rumors broke, but they're saying that there's a rumor that it's going to be coming out. They needed an editor for a Super Bowl commercial. So the rumor came from a quote unquote inside source. And I'm hoping it is because
it's a prank.
The rumors are saying that the game will come out alongside the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 later on this year.
That would be a good move. It would be a good move.
That would be a really good move. And I'm honestly hoping like this would. So everyone is looking at Rockstar's past. You know, they release a trailer. 2 years later, the game comes out. But like companies don't have to do the same thing every time. That's what pisses me off with these people is like, be optimistic. If you think it's going to happen, you know, whatever. If it doesn't happen, you will move on. You're going to wake up to the next morning. Eventually, the game will come out. But, they've been slowing down on updates. There's no announcements yet. So that's kind of why I'm thinking they're probably just going to like announce something soon. And, you know, they'll probably slow down online updates and then the new game will come out and
shut down the old servers.
I don't think they'll shut it down because they don't want to lose their player. But it's rumored that the PS5 and Xbox Series X are going to have backwards compatibility. So people can play their new GTA. So they can still play GTA 5 on the new consoles. Which is a very smart move because, you know, I would just like to play GTA 5 on my new console this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the microphone. He forgot his earbuds, so we're doing this on one microphone. I'm praying to God it's going to come out good. There's one audio layer. I've never edited a podcast like this before, but it's the first time for everything, right? So, yeah, I mean, we hope you enjoyed. We hope Isaac feels better. We hope we see him next week. We do have an email, and this is fully set up now.
Oh, we actually received one email.
Yes.
From Isaac.
Isaac, let's read his email.
No, don't read it. He basically said the podcast is a piece of crap.
But in vulgar term. But yeah, if you want to email us, you email talkmumble@gmail.com. Again, that's talkmumble@gmail.com. That's TALKMUMBLE@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we'll just read your emails on the podcast. We can't read this one because Brody doesn't allow me to read. So, yes. But
join our Discord. Join our Discord. If you contact our Discord while we're recording, we'll have you on.
You want to be on the podcast? Just do it. Join our Discord. Make your dreams come true. But yeah, we hope Isaac feels better. If you're not, are you listening? Your voice isn't in this, so you might be listening. Isaac, we hope you feel better.
We love you, Isaac.
Yeah, no homo. No, just we're gonna get banned for that. We love you, but not in that way. We hope you feel better. And yeah, guys, wish him the best of well. Get over the flu that he diagnosed himself with, and
I don't think he needed to go to the hospital to figure out he was a little sick.
I know. He'll get over it though. So yeah, patreon.com/Midday Mumbles, and we'll see you guys all next week. Gage
And Brody,
signing off.
goodbye.